I'm Keith Burns. I'm going to be doing a speech by John F. Kennedy. This is going to be the beginning of the address on the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty from 1963. This is our audience. Good evening, my fellow citizens. I speak to you tonight in a spirit of hope. 18 years ago, the advent of nuclear weapons changed the course of the world as well as the war. Since that time, all mankind has been struggling to escape from the darkening prospect of mass destruction on Earth. In an age when both sides have come to possess enough nuclear power to destroy the human race several times over, the world of communism and the world of free choice have been caught up in a vicious circle of conflicting ideology and interest. Each increase of tension has produced an increase of arms. Each increase of arms has produced an increase in tension. In these years, the United States and the Soviet Union have frequently communicated suspicion and warnings to each other, but very rarely hope. Our representatives have met at the summit and at the brink. They've met in Washington and in Moscow, in Geneva, and at the United Nations. But too often, these meetings have produced only darkness, discord, or disillusion. Yesterday, a shaft of light cut into the darkness. Negotiations were concluded in Moscow on a treaty to ban all nuclear tests in the atmosphere, in outer space, and underwater. For the first time, an agreement has been reached on bringing forces of nuclear destruction under international control, a goal first sought in 1946, where Bernard Baruch presented a comprehensive control plan to the United Nations. That plan, and many subsequent disarmament plans, large and small, have all been blocked by those opposed to international inspection. A ban on nuclear tests, however, requires the on-the-spot inspection only for underground tests. This nation now possesses a variety of techniques to detect the nuclear tests of other nations which are conducted in the air or underwater, for such tests produce unmistakable signs which our modern instruments can pick up. This treaty, initialed yesterday, therefore is a limited treaty which permits continued underground testing and prohibits only those tests that we ourselves can police. It requires no control posts, no on-site inspection, no international body. We should also understand that it has other limits as well. Any nation which signs the treaty will have an opportunity to withdraw if it finds that extraordinary events related to the subject matter of the treaty have jeopardized its supreme interests, and no nation's right of self-defense will in any way be impaired. Nor does this treaty mean an end to the threat of nuclear war. It will not reduce nuclear stockpiles, it will not halt the production of nuclear weapons, it will not restrict their use in time of war. Now, I think that this speech still has a lot of relevancy today. Obviously, the treaty and the ban on it was in the 60s, which is a long time ago, but the talk and threat about nuclear war and nuclear weapons is still happening today all the time. I do think it was addressed differently back then, though, and I think that it should be addressed that way today. Today, there's a lot of fear-mongering, there's a lot of just trying to make people scared, fear for their lives, rather than giving out the information necessary. Back in his speech, it was very informational and sort of just gave the details that needed to be done without outright scaring anyone, right? Just even though it's talking about nuclear weapons could destroy nations, the entire world, things like that. On the same vein, I think he did that on purpose. I think it was very informational, but very succinct. Only gave the information that was necessary. That wasn't to hide things per se, but it was just to not drone on and bore people, or like I said, to introduce fears from the outside. Last thing, I think something he did very well, not just in this speech, but in every speech, the full speech, he never placed blame or ridiculed other people, even if their ideas opposed his. He was very respectful and just sort of gave the facts as they were supposed to be given and delivered, and let the nation and its people decide for themselves. Thank you.